with my theme over the last since we began this thing, I told you guys I was going to pinpoint our D tackle, whether it's me guessing them right or you guys with your prospects reviews. We're going to definitely get the D tackle, one of the D tackles, maybe two of them, based on our prospect shows. And this one is a guy that JD and I were big fans of when first came in. We first started talking about draft stuff, and then over time we kind of got looked a little bit more into it, and maybe not a surefire guy as we thought he was, but looking more into it. But Deone Walker, 6'6", 348 pounds. Would have been a surefire first-round pick, potentially top 20 pick if he came out last year. Now, potentially a day 3 pick. It was discovered at the Combine that he played in 2024 with a stress fracture in his back, and that was kind of the reason for his, poor play, so to speak, from this past year. So, guy played through it. You can give the guy – that's the one thing we always say about the injuries, right? Like, we can hold it against you. Fans are going to hold it against you. Experts are going to hold it against you. NFL teams are going to hold it against you. But at the same time, who's giving him a credit for playing with a stress fracture in his back? Like the guy literally hurt his draft stock by playing with the stress fracture in his back. And who knows? He could be back to his 2023 form without this injury. So, you could get a good steal on this. Definitely something the Chiefs would do. Chiefs, have taken guys who've had injury concerns in their last year and taken them late in drafts before. We've seen it many, many times. So definitely something I could see the Chiefs taking advantage there. But a little bit of background about Deone Walker, 2-sport athlete who also played basketball. So we're talking about a 6'6", 350 guy playing basketball. I love hearing that. I love seeing that.
Point guard, obviously.
Yeah. He's probably a 5 on the team.
But
it shows kind of surprising mobility with a guy that size. So that's great too from a guy who can play inside and outside, mainly inside. Walker collected offers from Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU, Penn State, Tennessee, and Texas, and then obviously Kentucky, that's where he ended up going. He collected first-team freshman All-American honors, second-team All-SEC honors in 2022, second-team All-SEC honors again in 2023, and second-team All-SEC once again as a junior in 2024, and that is with a stress fracture in his back on the down year. He still collected honors there. Walker, obviously hard to uproot and move in linear blocks and solo assignments for offensive linemen. He illustrates the power necessary to stack and shed blocks at the point of attack, and he's got a stout gravitational pull as a tackler in between the tackles. Some of the positives here: surprisingly nimble athlete for a guy his size, obviously 6'6", 358. Has flashed good pass rush IQ, the ability to deconstruct hands for secondary counters, has viable projection to either a penetration role or a 2-gapping presence. Some of the negatives here: first step explosiveness is irregular, and Walker is prone to popping up out of his stance. Big thing for him is standing straight up. He kind of has a poor posture on the field. People, of course, guy's 6'6", 350. So he's got a big, huge
7. Yeah,
huge. There's definitely going to be a big target there with a guy that size. Offers a massive surface load for blockers due to poor flexibility, as a lot of experts I saw say, and much less dangerous if initial charge out of stance is stymied. But you can say it about anybody when you talk about that. Obviously, and again, like I said, if he came out last year, talk about a day 1 pick potentially. But now they're saying, based on his past season, that we're looking at a day 3 pick, a round 4 to 5 kind of guys where they have him listed at. Now, again, you can talk about potential. The guy played with an injury last year. This could be a steal. This could be a day 3 steal for the Chiefs. Let's say the Chiefs don't go D tackle in round 1, they go edge and other positions, and then we still need that need for a D tackle. This is a guy that could be looking at in day 3 to go get. But I love the potential here. And that's one thing all the experts say about him. They may say day 3, but they say the potential is definitely there with him and if you can get 2023 Deone Walker to come out and play. So I think we have the defensive line coach to do that. I think we have the defensive staff to do that, to get the best out of a guy who showed he could be a first-round pick just 2 years ago. So what do you guys make of Deone Walker? JD, I know Deone Walker's in your backyard, so what do you make about this guy?
Junior year, man, he was unstoppable. I watched him, man. He was going through double teams, man, like a hot knife through butter. And so he could have came out his junior year, probably would have been a first-round pick. Easy. And I didn't know anything about the stress fracture. I'm glad you said this and brought it up. This makes a whole lot of sense because you've seen everything dip down. And I thought it was just the man just got comfortable, but I had no idea he was dealing with an injury. And if he's able to get anything and mirror what he did his junior year, he'll be a great pick. He'll be a great steal. He's a big man. I'm talking about you, like when you see him out on the field, you could tell the difference. You're like, God, that joker, you know the guards and the tackles are 6'5", 6'6", and he's towering over them jokers, making everybody look like kids. And that's what you see in a lot of that. You see him like right here grabbing his jersey. That's what you've seen a whole lot of, trying to hold on for dear life, trying to stop this monster. And that's exactly who he was or is. But now, man, I like Deone Walker. Like you said, if he heals up, he'll be a great addition to what we do. Look, me being 6'7", look, when you tall, you don't like bending your knees. You're going to stand up. You're going to look like you stand up because he's 6'7". But when he stands up, his belly is where everybody's head is when they bend down. That's what, he's just a giant coming through. Just tearing stuff up. That's how he was his junior year, man. I'm telling you, he was an absolute monster. So, like I said, man, if he could rectify what he did his junior year, be an absolute wonderful addition.
Yeah, and shout out Cordell Robinson. He requested that we talk about Deone Walker on the episode today. So, Cordell, hope you enjoyed the we have to say about Deone Walker. Tasia, we talked about you and I have been talking about Deone Walker for a few months now.
Yeah.
Where do you stand as far as, let's say we don't take a first or early round D tackle. Let's say they wait, and this is a guy who, they're banking on 2023 production. I mean, this is something the Chiefs, we've seen them do before, take a guy based on, what they've seen in the past from him, or a guy coming off an injury, kind of betting on that potential aspect.
I'm okay if it's later. Yeah. I mean, this is someone I started the draft process. I remember I started really into him because I saw a couple really early on. Well, the season was still on, like the regular season of the college and NFL being mocked to us in the first round. I was like, look at this guy. You see the size, you're like, oh my gosh, just incredible build. You're so impressed by it. But then you watch the other top-notch DTs, and it was so obvious so quickly that like those guys are in just another stratosphere than he is. His size is so impressive, but one criticism he has is the distribution. Like it's all in his midsection. He's got small legs. He's got small ankles, and not a lot of girth in his shoulders and his back and his chest, which is troublesome too, especially if you want him to be a clogger, because he's 340 pounds. But and here's another concern too. I know it's good to have the excuse for him to, he had back problems. 6'6", 340 pounds with back problems, who already has pad length problems. That's not encouraging either, though. I mean, yeah, it's good to excuse some of the poor play this last year, but going forward and investing a high-ish pick into a guy who's got those issues, that's also kind of worrisome too, right? So, yeah, the guys I've listened to and every single scout, every single analyst, they slaughter him, the poor guy. They said best maybe for him just to lose some weight and try to become like a 3-4 D end.
There you go. Well, I won't. God, the end.
Just because he just doesn't. They just don't see how it's going to translate. Like he just doesn't. He's built like this giant nose tackle who can just take on doubles, but he doesn't play that way. He plays like a finesse, shoot the gap D tackle, and his pad level is just too high all the time, so he just gets pushed back. And you just don't expect someone of that size to get pushed back that often. That's what's so weird. You watch like, oh my God, this guy's just going to be a handful. And then you see him get pushed back play after play after play after play, and you're like, what the hell? What's going on? Why is he getting pushed back this much by guys that are much smaller than him that shouldn't be doing that to him? He got stood up at the Senior Bowl by a 270-pound Willie Lampkin out of UNC.
Joker had a stress fracture in his back.
But that's not going to, okay, so 340 pounds, 6'7", how's it going to get better?
So if he loses weight, Okay, if he's sitting over there right now 331, this is what he 6'7", 331. Let's say he gets down to 315. Okay. Let the back heal a little bit on the stress fracture. I think he can still play inside. His junior year, he wasn't getting pushed back. He wasn't playing with finesse. He was playing with all power, killing guys. I'm talking about killing double teams, triple teams. I'm telling you, he was unblockable his junior year. He probably should have came out. He should have.
He should have.
No? Yeah. So
he definitely should have.
Right. But I know those guys up on the step up at UK. They've only thing they've said is good things about this guy. That's all they talked about is how good of a guy he is. But hey, these things happen, right? and I get that will be. Do you take? And I agree with you, Tay. Do you take that on a high pick on a guy? Does he feel? That's what I'm saying. Does he get to you maybe around 4? If he gets to you around 4, take him. I mean, shoot. If I'm looking at how we got our picks, I take him around 4 without a doubt. And the thing is, let him get in some shape, let him get stronger. He's already strong, and then just let that joker just explode. That'll help him out. That'll help out on his back problems. I'm talking from a guy that has back problems. Okay, that'll definitely help him out. Definitely help him out. So I don't know, taking him out to a defensive end. I don't think he'll have the length. He could push guys. Yeah, that'll definitely help. But I think his forte is man on the inside, no question. So
yeah, because I have seen some draft experts say if you're watching his tape based on 2024, yes, you are looking at the 5th round guy. But if you're looking at his 2023 tape, and we look at his numbers here, you can see in the top right here, the guy had 7.5 sacks last year from the TT spot. We're talking about first round talent.
He's purely getting drafted because of that. Like, had he had a pretty good year, not a great year the year before, we're talking about maybe like 6, 7 they're undrafted at this point, right? There's tons of guys that are his size that are just average, and they don't get drafted, most of those guys, unfortunately. It's because of that year that he's even going to get, which shows you how bad this year was, considering last year he was a top 15 talent. Now, between last year and this year, it's 5th or 6th round. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, because you're taking both into consideration. You look at the tape from last year where, like, all the knocks they have him for this year, he didn't have last year problem. And then you look at this year, and then we hear at the combine, that's when we find out he had the stress fracture in his back. And that's like, okay, we know why the play kind of declined a little bit. So it's like, for a guy to go from a first round talent to potentially a 5th round, I think it's wild. And I think that's a gamble a team like the Chiefs could take, because we are built to win right now. That's a guy you can bring in. So I think that's
someone's going to do it.
Yeah, the juice is worth the squeeze with this pick.
Thinking that they can just if we can just get 80% of 2023 out of him, then it'll be worth it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what you're hoping for when you draft him. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
JD, have you ever had a stress fracture, JD? And how, I know we talk about back problems. Yes, back problems are awful, especially NBA, NFL, any sport, right? But how bad is a stress fracture? Tiers of back injuries, where stress fracture fall on back injuries?
I don't know. I had a bulging disc. I tell you what, I couldn't sleep. I'm telling you, I was getting an hour of sleep at night the whole 2006. So when I'm telling them back, I know how that feels. Like, as far as bad back, shoot, hey man, I feel his pain. That's probably why he was standing up as much as he was, as well, because bending and all those different things become difficult. And so what I did during that off season to help on it, I went to out to California, Carson, California, and learned how to get all my muscles around it strong. Get my core better. And so this is something they could, they'll be able to help out with this, especially for him. Stress fracture, I think, is, heals up, I think, pretty, I don't know, as far as if you stay off of it, it could heal up. But I don't know that. I just know I've had a bulging disc, because other guys I know had back surgery. You have back surgery, that ain't a good thing. So this stress fracture, he's not having surgery and stuff on it. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be fine. So
And this story right here kind of highlights the fact where players shouldn't play through the injuries. Sit out. Sit out and then rely on that 2023 tape because right now you played through this back injury that he had, and teams are experts have him in the 5th round grade, 6th round grade, and like, okay, had he just played week 2 and they said, you know what, I got a stress fracture, I'm out, he would probably be a top 3 round pick still. But because the guy played through an injury, people are basing it on his 2024 tape, and then there we go, we see him day 3, and could be a steal for a team out there because of that.
Yeah, apparently a lot of the guys in the defense missed a lot of time last year, so he wanted to just fight it out, cut it out on the team for the team.
So it tells me a lot about who he is.
It's called a pars defect. The pars defect is a fracture on the wings of your vertebrae in the lumbar spine. It's a painful lower back injury, albeit one that's inconsistent. Some days you might feel fine, decide to grit and grind through a football game, then wake up and not be able to bend over to tie your shoe. So it's hit or miss and inconsistent. But yeah, he said it's something that he can manage through PT to keep it right. So it's going to be a problem, I guess, going forward. Pars defect sounds like it's something you always have. No, I don't know. I don't know if it's something that's chronic throughout your life.
Right. Yeah.
One of those online doctors said should only really bother him later on in his career, as far as like really impacting his play. If he manages it right in the beginning of his career, either way, I'm glad, because his playing weight during the season was like 345. So I'm glad he already lost a little bit of weight for the combine.
Yeah, he was a lot bigger. Yeah, last year he was.
Yeah. He got down to 331, so he already lost like 14 pounds. So it means he knew like the weight's a problem. Got to keep it off, especially if it's not distributed around his body, right? If he's got smaller legs.
And thin ankles mean that you're fast. You got speed with it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Pars defect.
It's harder to anchor, though, right, JD? It's harder to anchor when you're getting doubled from a nose position, though, right? If you have small legs.
No, you said it's small ankles. Ankles, like, usually if he comes up and his calves are pretty big, I mean, he look like big legs right there. He shouldn't be having no problem with it. He shouldn't have no problem with it. Like I said, man, his junior year, he didn't have an issue at all. So if it heals and he's able to go ahead and do it and manage it, I think he'll be fine.
And maybe this gives him a little chip on his shoulder too, even better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, pars defect pars fractures can take up to 6 months to heal. And it takes, some say, anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks to potentially 3 to 6 months. So
he said it's healed now.
So there you go.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, especially he'll be somewhere, when you hear that, like football guys, they usually they get on it immediately. You got the best doctors in the world. They'll make sure you start training to get everything right that you need to. So as opposed to like, the 3 to 6 months of somebody like, regular folk.
Yeah. So could be a steal for a team out there, and hopefully it's us getting him day 3 as a steal. So, and seeing a lot of Deone Walker love in the chat. So you got to love that, and also seeing we have a lot of people with back issues in the chat as well. So
yeah, I see Demonte Green Beast talking about, yo man, when you start talking about back pain, my back immediately started hurting. Like, oh shoot, like ow. Yeah, man. Hey,
Doctor says I need a backiotomy.
Oh man, that's always funny. A lot of people don't know where it comes from, Teja. That's always Doctor said I need a backiotomy.
What's that? What's that from?
Chappelle show.
Oh,
Dave Chappelle.
Originally half baked, but yeah, you got the actor.
Uh-huh.
Doctor says I need a backiotomy.
Oh yeah, Chappelle doing it. Yeah.
God, if you're listening, help.
Oh my gosh. What's up, Rick Anderson's in here, man? Let's talk a little bit with the chat people out here a little bit. So Kentucky used Walker all over the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats always used his mask to help create pressure with stunts and twists. Yes, they did. Not Sherry. Yeah, they did a lot of that up here in UK. And the thing was, I mean, he was effective because they really couldn't block him. He was able to, man, their linebacker is a pretty good linebacker. I can't think of his name right now. Mike, linebacker, but he does a real good job. But a lot of that had to do with what Deone Walker was able to keep off
Oh, Dumas.
Yes. Yeah.
Dumas Johnson. Is that right?
Mhm. Yeah. About time. So I have a massive hematoma in my back. It sucks when you try busting the running man at the club, do the workout well, can still knock off the Cabbage Patch, though. I hear you, about time. I love it. Running man and the Cabbage Patch. Yes, sir. Yeah. People like, what? What are those dances? Yeah. I know everybody know what the running man is.
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah, everybody did. Yeah, they
No,
should.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The Schwarzenegger, right?
They're remaking that.
No. Running Man, the dance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the movie with Arnold.
No. No, he's talking about dance move, Running Man and the Cabbage Patch. That's what that is. So the Cabbage Patch is the old like this coming around, and the Running Man was used to be what Vanilla Ice used to do. He used to do the like that.
Yeah, when you run and play, yeah.
Yeah.
Kid and Play did that too.
Oh yeah. The Running Man was it back in the day. Now
MC Hammer.
MC
Hammer rocked that out.
Hydration about laughing. Yeah. So we just learned it. Yeah, there we go. It's not the movie, it's the dance. Appreciate that.
They're both good. Okay, they're both really good.
Yeah.
Susan wants to see it. Susan wants to see you do it, JD.
I'm doing the little Cabbage Patch. I'm doing the Cabbage Patch. I can do the Cabbage. Yeah. You run a man. I can do that. Susan wants me to get up.
Yep.
Do it. Hey, I don't know if we got big enough screen to get me out here doing the whole running man out here, Susan.
I mean, Marcus can set that up. Marcus,
I could.
Yeah.
I give you the solo shot. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.